What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Sportscast. It's me, Andy. We've got Gary. Unfortunately, Musk is not in the feathers with us now, so if the audio or the video is off, it's Musky's fault for not being here. No, we are in the feathers. Massive thanks again to the lads. Also, they are doing a stock take at the moment, so if you noticed Ian in the back walking about or any noise, that's what they're doing. But massive thanks to them once again. Make sure you get down and support your local boozers. On a Thursday, we've just had the dart all over Christmas. On the Thursday, they do have killer darts in the feathers. It's growing every week. Prize money and a good laugh as well, so get down for that. Also, massive thank you to Hill Dickinson, our main sponsors. Don't forget, go back and watch their episode where they talked about how they got the naming rights to Everton's new stadium. And also, massive shout out to Como Athletics. They've been kitting out the lads now for about 6 weeks. You can get 30%, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a 30 for 30% off on all your Como Athletics gear. Again, Gary is rocking the gilet at the moment. I've got the tee on at the moment. So yeah, loads on there, accessories. They've got water bottles, all kinds. So again, go and give them a follow on Instagram. Check out the gear and take advantage of 30% off with the code LEGGED30. Okay, right. Also, an apology that we've not been here the last 2 weeks. Gary has been on holiday, and Muskie had that leggy that's been affecting everyone. Everyone. I don't know whether you've noticed it because you've been away, but everyone is sick.
Yeah,
like everyone.
I didn't notice it, but saying that, I took my daughter's footy training last night, and they were all coughing their heads.
Yeah, everyone though, and everyone's having it for about 2 or 3 weeks. So we did try and record, but
to be honest as well, as the listeners or followers may well have noticed, the Thursday which you normally record on fell on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. That didn't help.
It didn't help, did it? No. So anyway, we're back with a bang. Good Christmas then. Good Christmas, New Year.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, good. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'm glad to get back to a bit of normality though, and a bit of routine.
No, same. I feel a bit lost otherwise.
Yeah.
So no, I'm without sounding like a Scrooge. I'm glad everyone's back in school, back in work, and normal life can resume.
And yet you're going away again.
It's normal life for me, that lad. Yeah. Yeah. So next few weeks. In fact, I'm here next week. So we will talk about my holidays next week. What we will do, if it's all right with you, lad, is we'll just start with a few questions because we'll end up forgetting them, or I will. So Billy Smith on Instagram said the hardest man in Bootle. It's definitely not me.
The hardest man in Bootle?
Who would you say?
I don't know. I didn't really grow up in Bootle. I grew up in Cartell, so maybe I'm a bit out of touch with people.
Yeah,
I don't want to get postcodes wrong and name someone who doesn't live in Bootle and offend them.
And they take,
and equally leave someone out who does live in. It's going to be someone who's like boxed for years, isn't it? And maybe put a bit of beef on now.
Stephen Smith. Oh yeah.
No, they're all Cartell.
I wondered whether he lived in no,
they're all Cartell. I mean, Stephen did live in like all.
I'll go for like proudest man in Bootle. I'll take that title.
Proudest man.
Yeah, I love saying I'm from Bootle, lad.
Oh right, okay, all right.
Proudest.
Yeah.
Don't know. We'll come back to you on that one, Bradley.
Yeah, someone will have to probably comment who lives in Bootle.
Who is the artist?
And actually fights with me and Andy are not fighters.
No, definitely not. Steve Coggy's brought a good one up, and we weren't actually going to mention this, but it's a great question. He says, do we think that Paddy can beat Justin Gaethje? And what about Tom Aspinall's rumour of retiring? So, I'm gutted I can't go to the fight. I would have definitely been trying to rally around you and a few of the boys to try and get over to Vegas for the fight at the end of Jan. I'm actually away and can't go. I'm dead excited for it, first and foremost. It should be an absolute banger. I mean, he's a bit of a legend, isn't he, Justin Gaethje?
Yeah.
And he's always in boss fights. He's like a proper...
Yeah, that's what would make it really interesting, yeah.
Do you know what? I'm not scared for Paddy because I think he will win. But I'm scared. I'm always scared when Paddy fights because I just know what the internet's like. And I'm scared that if he ever does get knocked out, that he's going to get tethered, isn't he?
I think stylistically it's perfect for him, you know. When you say, can he beat him? I think he does beat him.
I do as well, yeah.
Stylistically, it's a perfect fight. Obviously, it's not easy, and no MMA fight, particularly in UFC, is easy to predict. But,
especially at the level he's at now, going for this.
But I think if he could pick out of the top 10, I think Gaethje would be up there in terms of the type of fighter he wants to be in with.
But my only fear is, though, because Gaethje's just got this kind of iron chin, and he's just like a proper stand there, boom. I don't want Paddy to get
that's what I mean.
Into
I don't think he'll trade with him for that reason. That's why I think it's better. I think he when he's in against someone who he knows is a bit soft, in the striking department, and he goes over the top. I think sometimes he's got the tendency to commit himself too much. I think he's
in his first few fights, he's certainly done that.
I think he'd be less likely to do that against Gaethje, which is why I think it's because I think he'll score points if you like, but as you say, he's not going to knock him out as easily as he has some of his other opponents from a striking perspective. So I don't know. I think personally, it's as good a match as he could get at this level.
I think, maybe it's a little bit earlier, or I've not seen yet what the bookies have got as the favourite, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Paddy. I actually think like a first round submission. I think because if he comes,
it's tight in the market, like
if he comes lunging in, which I could imagine he could well do, Gaethje, and Paddy just wraps him up. I think it could be a first round submission win for Paddy. I do think Paddy wins regardless of how the fight goes.
Yeah.
And it's exciting because it's for the title as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't know whether you class it as an interim title or not because Poirier stepped away. He's got his own stuff going on in his personal life. Mate, have you seen what his missus is doing to him?
Paddy is favourite.
Is he?
1 to 2.
Lad, have you seen that Poirier's missus?
Yeah.
It's not good, that is it?
No.
Getting photos with all rappers and NBA players and that. Lad, just women.
Yeah, but it's one of them. He's known that's their personality though. You know what I mean? When you
well,
get
I told you, didn't I? Your Musk was on, and I said, lad, he'd done a podcast with these Americans, and they were like, "Oh, don't date Miami girls." And I'm sure his missus is from Miami, and he starts getting a bit. He's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Mate, Miami girls are like," and she's proven to be what these lads said.
Regardless where you're from, though, when you meet a girl and you eventually get to know her properly, and you've had a few nights out, and she's got drunk and she's shown her proper
true
side,
self, yeah.
You know there's that kind of underbelly, don't you? And
Has he got kids to her, hasn't he? I think that's what makes it worse if she's like out there. Yeah. But anyway, I think Paddy wins, and then Tom Aspinall. Yeah, that injury to his eye is obviously seen.
Naughty,
yeah, and I seen him with glasses on the other day, but I don't know whether he's always had glasses for reading or now and again. But he's had them on in Paddy's vlog that he done. I mean, has he made enough dough to retire? I mean, unfortunately, that's probably what it comes down to as well, doesn't it? Money,
without doubt. Yeah, without doubt.
If you're looking at him in the same predicament he's in now,
I don't think he has. I
wouldn't say he's not made kind of fuck you money yet, has he?
No, he's probably had is he headlined twice where he's been the main.
London, I was there when he won in London, I think.
And maybe one more, but I'm struggling to think
more. It's interesting. I think if we're sitting here now and he's got this injury and he's in this predicament, he's had a lot more fights, then I think he retires. But I just think because he's not quite there with money wise, I don't think he will retire now.
And I think if he's got the chance to fight again, and it's a little bit like, not sure how much the injury affects me, surely goes in, takes the risk to some extent to get the money, and then folds after the rounds or whatever.
It's not in him to do that, lad.
No, you know what I mean. Not folds, but like
in his head he goes, it's not worth it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Some other questions which will then lead us into the kind of chat. So we'll pick up on the darts. So my missus,
I've just seen.
Do you know what? Do you know why though she said this? Because it's like, and I seen Simon Jordan get caught up in a bit of this on TalkSport. So they were speaking to the CEO of the PDC, talking about Luke Littler and what darts is doing at the moment. And Simon Jordan made a kind of flippant comment, which probably in the context comes across as quite bitter or quite rude. But I think it's a valid point, and I want to repeat the same valid point, and I hope no one thinks I'm hating on Luke Littler, because I'm not. I think it's amazing what he's done at 18 to be back-to-back world champion. It's only been done 4 times. He's already kind of odds on, if you like, to go and break Phil Taylor's record of 16. By the way, Phil Taylor never won his first world title till he was 30. So Luke Littler's got a 12-year head start on him, and he's already got 2. So unbelievable achievements. I'm not taking anything away from Luke Littler. The point is, though, he is overweight. He is like really, really unhealthy for an 18-year-old, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe should we be bothered by that? I don't know. Should we be like?
You know what? I'm fairly certain. I said this.
We spoke about a year or 2 ago, maybe.
Yeah, 12 to 18 months, and I said, look, the next year or 2 will tell you whether he's going to be able to maintain that or whether it's going to start catching up with him. I said the tour is so intense, like you're going from one tournament to the next, and if you're not eating well, you know yourself, and we know you start getting sick, don't you? And he hasn't. succumbed to that yet, but he is still 18.
He's 18, yeah. I
You're
think
very
early,
resilient at 18.
yeah, 100%.
You're very resilient up until you're 25, aren't you? So I still think he's going to be all right, but
I think he's all right for another 3 to 5 years, but when you get to like 23, 24, and he's will have put maybe more weight on, maybe, you know, do you know what I mean?
But listen, I think just on the basis of his recent performances, and particularly in that final, you cannot question how elite his mindset is.
Oh,
like,
no,
forget about his physique for a minute. But listen, if you're not in the condition and you know, you're dehydrated or whatever it is, or you're not suitably nourished, then it does start to affect your concentration or whatever. But listen, there was no rattling him.
No. Well, like, they tried to, didn't they?
Oh yeah, the fans did in the earlier rounds, and
there was some talk of
played the best.
Yeah, there was some talk that he got a lot of abuse when he was in Germany, and apparently one particular night there must have been a German player still in, so there was a lot of Germans in the crowd that they thought, and that was why he was getting a bit of abuse, but didn't bother him. Well, he snapped back a little bit, didn't he?
He did, but I thought it was I liked it, to be honest. I liked the fact that particularly, like, you know, he's looking around going, and I think someone made this point, I don't know if it was on TalkSport or whatever, going, a load of 40-year-old fellas, like, doing an 18-year-old or whatever. And he's probably looking around going, listen, look at you've come here and paid 200, 300 quid, and that's all paying for my prize money. So I thought it was a nice little...
The only thing I'd say on that, and I made a comment in one of the group chats I'm in, I love that kind of... the Conor McGregor, the kind of Floyd Mayweather, the Noel Gallagher, the kind of comments, fuck you, come on. But he's got like zero personality. He's not got that like that flip of the tongue kind of thing, has he? It's like a bit laboured that. And then the point was made back to me. He's only 18. That fucking hell, come on.
I know.
So
give him
it's
a chance
like
to get some banter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he just didn't have much banter, but he made a great point. It was like, yeah, well, you know, yeah, you're gonna pay my prize money. It was like if he'd said it a bit better, it would have been a bit. Yeah. But listen, he's bringing more spotlight onto darts. He is incredible, by the way.
He ridiculous. Like, honestly, I'm not messing. Going into that final, I thought, having watched the semi the night before, and how well Jan van Veen dispatched Gary Anderson, particularly because Gary Anderson was his idol growing up, and I thought the way he's dealt with that, and Gary Anderson had moments early in the game where he looked like he was going to get away with it, and he just, I thought he's going to give Littler a real run for his money, and he just wasn't able to produce the doubles that he did in the semi, and that was the difference. And Luke Littler was just ice cold.
And I think he's won two youth world championships. I think that lad.
Jan van Veen. Well, yeah. The I think it was the youth championship runs alongside. I think it's the players championship, and Jan van Veen won the youth championship just before the final of the players championship that Luke Littler was in, and he beat Bo Greaves. And that was another one where Bo Greaves started. I think she won the first two legs, and he then won 6 on the bounce. He's gonna play a part, and we'll come on to. Might as well mention it now. The Premier League lineup so announced, which is, I mean, the best of the best. It's the Champions League of darts. Yeah. So you've got
So this is the one that kind of does the tour, isn't it, up and down the country?
Yeah, it goes to the and listen. If you've not seen the darts, it's your best chance to go and watch elite darts. And
it's in Liverpool in April, I think.
It is, yeah. It's number 12, I think. Liverpool is on the tour out of 16, I think it is. So it's 8 players, and the format is quarter-final, semi-final, final, and then they mix it up, and you get points in the league table. But the top 4 of the PDC are automatically in it, which is Humphreys, Littler, Jan van Veen, and Van Gerwen. And then the other 4 are like wild cards, so they just choose based on order of merit. So they have a look at the rankings, obviously, but then they look at recent performance, they look at following, as in
I was going to say a little bit
ones.
Yeah. Which is a bit dubious at times, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and the dubious pick on this occasion is Steve Bunton, and he actually probably made as many headlines during the World Championship as Littler did, because there was a little bit of a few comments he'd made, which I don't think he meant it in the way that it was perceived, but he was basically saying, I'm the people's champ. Yeah. And Littler
then Littler came back at him.
Little tongue-in-cheek went, well, you know, the people's champ's out or whatever, straight away, and so he was picked.
Do you think maybe he was thinking, all the eyes are on the World Championships at Christmas and New Year, everyone watches the darts, if I'm not going to win it, I need to kind of make headlines so that when it comes to picking the Premier League...
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's.
I mean, it's not crazy.
It's big money as well, and you know, because what happens is the Premier League runs alongside the European Tour, And you've got a choice most. So the Premier League is played on a Thursday. It's Thursday night. And then the European Tour events start on a Friday night or a Saturday morning. Normally, the players who played in the Premier League get a bye from the first round of the European Tour events. So they're in on the Saturday morning. But what a lot of the Premier League players do is bypass some of the European Tour events because they're like, I don't want to burn out.
Right, okay.
So the prize money is better for the Premier League unless you get to like the semis or the final of the European Tour event. So some players like Aspinall last year played in both. He was playing Premier League, European Tour, Premier League every week. Whereas Bunting actually bypassed a few of them and Littler bypassed most of them.
It's suppose it's so tactical, isn't it? And it also depends on your own personal, financial affairs. If you Luke Littler now, you've just won £1 million and the rest, he can skip probably more of them.
He's got from Target, the darts board. Like.
Yeah, it's interesting, yes.
Yeah, going back to the picks.
So Aspinall was the one who missed out then?
Well, Danny Noppert was actually the one who should have got in. But going back to the whole thing of fans and following, Danny Noppert's a bit boring. He's got no personality. There's not really much about him. Typical, like, is he Belgian or Dutch? But anyway, he's got that type of like laid back, quite. So
we're gonna come on to a laid back Dutchman in a minute.
But he did get into, I think it was 3 or 4 European Tour finals, and was one of the best performing players in the tour. I think he ends up being in order of merit 5th or 6th. So he was the one who was unlucky. Aspinall will count himself unlucky because he performed well in the Premier League last year, and he is popular as well. Quite a popular figure, but he flopped massively in the world. So
it reminds me a bit like the old Callum Smith drama I used to moan about. He's just too much of a quiet, nice guy to then sometimes get the bigger fights because he's
that's
same kind of thing.
That's a fair comparison, yeah. So yeah. The other 4 then were Steve Bunting. Bloody hell, got me rolled up now. Looking at them before.
And when does this start again? The first one.
Steve Bunting, Gerwyn Price, Josh Rock, which I'm made up with, and Johnny Clayton. The first event is the 5th of February, Newcastle. Okay. Which will be a banging night.
That will be good. I looked at getting us tickets for the April one. I think I'm away, I think we might be away together, actually. Is it the last weekend in May? Oh, April,
no, it's the 23rd of April, so I'm not away. You might be away, which wouldn't be unusual. The last night is the final when we're away.
I knew there was something,
The final is
I'm in Ibiza.
The final is the day before we go away in London.
Yeah. No, I'm in opening weekend, that is in Ibiza. That's where I am. So anyway, the darts, that'll be good. Right, 2 more questions, which will kind of lead us on to our normal chat as well. Do you want to go on slot first or the manager merry-go-round?
I think go on to slot after it because that'll be probably a longer.
Right, so Anthony Goldstein, nice one for the message, mate. He said, free speech in football has it gone out the window with Amarin and Maresca gone? Interesting, isn't it? Because they probably both got themselves the sack from what they've said in press conferences, haven't they, really? But then I heard a really interesting point, and I'd love to say it was me thinking on my own of this. But again, it was someone on TalkSport. These coaches or managers, that's essentially what Amarin got the sack over, wasn't it? He's come out and said, I was here to be manager, not a coach, if you like. Football now, as it's changed, these are world businesses that are turning over huge sums of money every year, every day. And I think I don't think it's wrong for an owner to say to a manager, you're just the coach of this team. You're not managing the football club. You're a coach. We need you to get them to play better football. That's all we need you to concentrate on. Therefore, you are the coach. A manager like in the old days, you heard stories about Ferguson, who was doing the contracts. He was going and scouting himself. He was watching. He was putting on the training. He was picking the team. That doesn't happen now because you look at Liverpool, for example. Ins and outs, probably £700-800 million worth of money going in and out the club. You can't have a manager who kind of sits in on every decision like that and be like, well, actually, So I kind of see both sides. I understand the manager wanting to say, look, I'm the main man. It's my club. I'm the manager. I'm in control. But football, it's that much of a big business now. That's a lot of... there's not enough time in the day for the manager to manage everything, is there?
No, I think there's 3 things here. One is, go back to free speech in the 80s, 70s, 80s. You may be talking to some fella who has a little dictaphone who was going to write something up in the Echo or whatever, who'd maybe have a pint with you later on and be really generous and whatever. So I think it was always either watered down or it was the narrative that
it's a good point.
Would go down and it would just be someone picking up the paper and maybe 10,000 people locally reading about it, and then it becomes Chinese whispers and something else. Now it's instant, isn't it? It's worldwide, it's global.
Sorry, that's such a good point, because like you say, once it's in the Echo, once it's done the next day,
no
one's reminding you.
Tomorrow's chip paper, as they used to say.
Well, no one's reminding you. Is he actually? You said that 3 weeks ago, because it's like the paper's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So that I think that's one factor. The other one, the point you just made, then, is the clubs and these businesses have invested so much money in these resources and departments that not only is it not possible for you to do that job on your own, it's not necessary. So they don't need you to do everything. So you're a hell of a lot more dispensable than you were in the 80s. If you were the person who was going and scouting, you were the person who signed the contracts, people think, we can't sack him because I don't even know what that contract was based on. I don't even know that kid who he signed. What can we do about that? We're going to have to wait a little bit. We're going to have to be a little bit careful about it. Whereas now, all this data's all at the click of a button. All the contracts are negotiated by directors of football and agents and all that stuff, and it's all separate to the manager.
But so, ironically though, Gary, you're seeing the fallout of what happens when you do try and replace someone like that with United.
Yeah.
Because he was that man, and 10 or 15 years later, they're still in the turmoil of they've not quite found anyone to replace someone who basically done everything.
Yeah, that's a fair point, is that because what you've got with one person doing it is you've got consistency. Whether that's always effective or not is arguable, but it's one voice, isn't it? It's one way of thinking.
Yeah.
Whereas with these departments and with these teams, becomes a little bit of inconsistency or a bit of ambiguity when it comes to, and particularly when you've got structures as well, which have changed. So yeah, I think
I agree. By the way, though, they should be involved in it. Do you know what I mean? They should have.
And I think the armies, anyone who believes they aren't is a little bit naive. And if you compare in these clubs to businesses, there's no way the people in any multi-million pound business who is in a position of influence or responsibility is not consulted or involved. Now, they might not have the final say. They might not be the person who comes up with whatever algorithm or whatever it is that chooses these players or whatever, but there's no way they're not consulted. I refuse to believe that, because it makes no sense, does it? Why would you not want to talk to that person? Why would you not want to involve them in it?
I suppose the question is, how much are they consulted, or how much is their opinion actually valued? Like, for example, you look at Amarin, for example. Is he sitting down with the youth squad every year and saying, why is he being released, or should have signed? Like, do you know what I mean?
Going back to it, that's just not possible. If he wants to, and Klopp's shown this. Klopp used to spend time watching the 18s and the 21s and stuff, and he used to have a close relationship with the coaches, with the academy manager, director, with the under 18s, with the under 23s coach. So that relationship and the communication he had between them created that synergy. If Amarin doesn't see that that's his place or it's his prerogative to do that, that's his point. But I don't believe that any Premier League manager or coach who wants to be involved with the youth system or wants to have a say.
He's never going to get knocked back, is he?
No, not at all. So I think the managers or coaches, whatever we want to call them, will use stuff like this in there. And listen, what they're thinking about, when it gets to the point where things aren't going well and everyone's at it in their own job thinking, you know what, I'm gone here. You've got to try to change the narrative a little bit, haven't you?
But it's interesting
about your next job then and what people are perceiving about you.
Yeah. What Anthony's saying there though about free speech is interesting, isn't it? Because it's like, yeah, free speech, yeah, but it's not free of consequence. If Amarin's coming out, getting a bit of a titty lip on, saying, well, I want to be the manager, it's like at the end of the day, you've got a boss.
Nobody says you can't talk.
Yeah,
but
talk
it's
all
like,
you want.
listen,
but
you're gonna have to accept that. You're gonna have to accept the consequences, yeah. And listen, if he was saying this while they were doing well, he's not getting sacked, is he?
No, exactly. And he's been in a position of power in the past.
Yeah.
And maybe he's got a bit too big for his boots, thinking he still thought he was as powerful as he was maybe a few months ago. Do you know what I will say about him and the difference with him and Maresca? And you could kind of argue who was the cleverer one out about it, who's kind of made the situation more beneficial. To me, when Amarin said, look, I come here to be the manager, not the coach, I am going to keep on being the manager until they get someone else. To me, that was basically saying, I know you don't want me, but I'm not going to quit, so you're going to have to sack me and pay me up to go.
Yeah.
I think that's essentially what he said. And funny old thing, he walked away with 10 million quid the next day, reportedly. Maresca, on the other hand, has had his his kind of grievances in private, it seems, and has come away and went, you know what, my morals, my values, I can't cope with that. I'm leaving. Now, who'd you kind of say well done to? Do you know what I mean? The fella who kept his morals?
I will guarantee you, out of those two, Maresca will get the better job next. No two ways about it. Maresca will get a better job next. Whether he carries on and has a better career is...
Yeah, but is that down to what he's done on the pitch, or is that down to how he's conducted himself in there?
I think both. If you're a potential employee, you look at it and go, do you know what? He
didn't bend them over the barrel last time.
Exactly. He didn't try and stitch them up, so we can probably give him a contract with confidence to know that he's going to honour the contract, and if there's a falling out, he's going to do the thing that...
The noble thing.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And then the second thing is he's won the World Club Championship, and you know,
and the Europa League.
And the Europa League, so a European trophy, the only European trophy available to him, and he's managed
a lot of turmoil. There's been a lot of squads,
a lot of turnover, a massive injury crisis, and you know, no matter what you think about the style of footy, which obviously Chelsea fans will know better than us, but it wasn't particularly attractive, but it was still relatively effective. They're still, where are they? Are they fourth or fifth? Yeah. So I think he walks away with much more credit in the bank, both.
Just not as much money in the bank, though.
No, not much, not as many pound notes in the bank, but yeah, I'm sure over the next 10 years he'll make up for that, because he'll get a decent job next, probably in Spain, I'd suggest. But
before we get on to our manager, it is a mad time to think, you know, three of arguably the biggest clubs, if you like, in the UK. They're probably three in the top 10, in it, top 5 even, people may argue. United, Chelsea and Celtic all without a manager at the same time. Or some would probably want Liverpool to be able to manage it.
Well, I was going to say that's an interesting thing. Is it? Would you rather be in? Do you look at them and think, "Oh, why have we not done that?" I don't know. I mean, I seen a stat, and you've probably seen it well before I did. Slot's record in this calendar year, now 19 defeats, is worse than any manager in Liverpool's history in a calendar year.
Really?
19 defeats in the 133 managers, I think, some of the 133 years, but one of the two. I mean,
it doesn't bode well, whatever way you...
No, it'll be 133 years, won't it? So the 133 years that Liverpool have had managers, the 19 defeats in this calendar year is the worst that Liverpool have ever had.
I mean, before we delve right into Slot and Liverpool, one thing I will say, going back to Celtic, is they brought a manager in. I think he's lasted 6 weeks. They've
4 weeks.
4 weeks, was it?
Wilfred Nancy, yeah.
They've sacked him again and brought in Martin O'Neill, who he replaced from the interim position. So
they've said to the end of the season now, haven't they? They've obviously learned.
I don't know why they did not do that last time. And by the way, they threw
particularly when they were flying as well under them.
And the run of they had a cup final and played Celtic. It was Rangers. It was 2 hard games to go into. So, that's the thing. You don't want to end up, if we sack Slot and for argument's sake get Gerrard in or someone like that, and then again at the end of the season you're doing all this again.
I think the thing is, just going back to the Celtic one, what was really odd about it is the impact that Martin O'Neill had in the interim period was just literally man management, wasn't it? And you heard that there was a lot of the stuff coming out, footage from the dressing room and all this chat, and it was just proper old school, you know, putting your arm around players, having a bit of banter, you know, filling them with confidence. And there was nothing technical about it, whereas Nancy has a bit of a reputation of being, you know, really a bit like an Amaranth, technical, and he's going to do this, and he's really wedded to a particular shape. Doing that in the middle of the season, in a dressing room that has just had a load of love, a load of like, you know, go on, just go and win the game, and then go into that. It was just such a contrast. So I just think it was an odd...
When someone's going to you saying, just do what you're good at, and then someone's going, what I need you to do is actually, when you don't do this and do... You'll be like, lads, come on.
I know, you're rolling your eyes, aren't you? In a minute there's a pause defeat, you're suddenly going, I'm not having him.
And the last thing I'll say in this, I said this to me when I was having me kind of weekly moan about, you know, can't quite believe the money that, you know, players are on. You look at and I'd love to speak to a professional footballer and just ask what an actual week looks like, because... what are they telling them? Do you know what I mean? They're going in for maybe breakfast at 10 o'clock, bit of a warm up in the gym. You know, it's like, what can you actually say to them? Do you know what I mean? I don't get, they're not having a 9 till 5 sit down meetings, are they, with the manager all day? There's only so much you can actually train.
No, and that's it. I think I still believe the job of a manager or head coach, because they're called head coach for a reason. You've got a number of coaches. The head coach is very rarely taking the sessions every day. So your job is almost sitting there every day or every morning or every night, looking at your roster of players and going, who needs a bit of love today?
Yeah.
Who do we need to go and speak to?
That, yeah.
Who we playing next? Or we're playing blah, blah, blah. The week at right back, I need to get into our left winger this week and just talk to him about this, talk to him about that, talk to him about how important he is, get him up for it. That's what you're doing.
Totally
And you're doing the same with your staff, aren't you? You're going, okay, well, such and such is just that wife's just has a baby. Do we need to go and
send
speak
some
to
flowers
him?
or something?
Yeah, it's all that. It's keeping it all knitted together. And I think at times, whether it's, I mean, we go back to Maresca and Amarim, I don't get the impression that's their priority. I think they go in every day thinking, okay, I've just come up with this new little formation here that we can try and work on and all that, and they're trying to get that right.
Well,
but they're neglecting some of the basics.
And he's probably got coaches who've come up with just as good ideas as well.
Yeah.
And he can just go, right, we'll have that, right, come on. And which probably brings us perfectly onto Slot. So Danny James asked, Slot's tactics are poor defending and his lack of Chiesa playing. Free Chiesa. I will say straight away, I do not think we should free Chiesa. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, I know you're not a fan of him.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not saying you're not a fan of his quality. It's not his work ethic, is it? It's not.
I just don't think.
Attitude.
No, I just don't think he's. No, I don't think he's good. I don't think you buy a top class midfielder for 8 million from one of the top. I know Juventus aren't maybe his.
Well, he's more of a winger, isn't he? But yeah,
you get signed for 8 million. No one. I mean, there's obviously a reason. Yeah. So I think that straight away was alarm bells. I think he's had a few chances. He's given us a few great moments. But me personally, I'm not as big as fan. So I'm going to disagree slightly there with you there, Danny. But regards to Slot tactics and everything else, going back to what we were just saying then, I just think, I don't want to keep on making these comparisons with Slot and Klopp, but it's like, I look at him, right, even when he's walking off the pitch, now I'm not expecting him to do the old fist pumps and get everyone going, right? I know that's not his style, but fucking give us something, lad. Do you know what I mean?
Come over and
give us something.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit of a, I know he likes to kind of be this cool, calm, collected, and he just does the little, fine, but, you know what I mean? Give us something. That's how I feel personally. And also, watching the interviews after the game, it's like he never seems like dead angry. You know, when we get beat, he's just like, well, you know, we created loads of chances. Like, I shouldn't have done it to myself, but ends up going on a YouTube rabbit hole and watching like Klopp's best moments. And like, you know, even his interviews after the game, you were just like, I fucking want to go and see that. Honestly, I'd go to the game, I'd come home and I'd watch the match over again. I'd watch his interviews over again. I'd watch Everton over again. And I just look at this team now and I'm like, I left on 70 minutes the other day. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even watch any fucking reactions anymore.
I've been there with a manager that you just cannot connect with. And it's horrible. It is horrible because it rubs off on the players as well. You start thinking all those players that you've adored the last few years, and obviously more so for you and in successful periods, you look at them going, can he be arsed with you? I've got no love for you at all. And so it does start to rub off on the team and your kind of enthusiasm towards the team. And it like we had it with Allardyce, we had it with Deitch. It's like, your voice,
draining's the
voice, word. Your mentality, the words you use, which and he's done it a few times now. It's like they start to big other teams up as if to say we've got no right to be competing with them, and we've had that as well. It's horrible, and
I feel terrible, right? Because he's won us the league, and he seems like a boss fella, but I'm just like, come on, lad, get a bit more animated, get a bit more. And what you're saying before about almost being, the arm on the shoulder and saying, look, I need you to do this. It's like that's trying that he's overtraining them, or he's giving them so much information that it's like they don't know what to, like, they just look so different from that Klopp team. And I know they're gone, it's not Klopp's team anymore. But I always remember an interview where Slot said he wants them to, he made a comment saying that Klopp was basically, it was sometimes too rushed, and he just wished he'd just take a moment and maybe think about the pass before, it doesn't always have to be the first pass. He could wait a few more passes and then make the killer pass. And again, people noted last season it was a little bit slower and it was a bit more, but it's like he slowed it down even more this season.
That's the Dutch style again, though, isn't it?
But it's like a bit of urgency, please. Like, and I mean, you could look at his tactics, you could look at defending, his attacking. I mean, he's just sacked the set piece coach. It's like he's scratching his head and he's thinking, I don't know what quite to do here. And I'm not Slot out, but speaking to one of the lads this morning, I think people are now starting to be a bit more like.
The thing is, though, I think at this stage, it's pointless sacking him now, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't sack him now. No.
It's going to be the summer, isn't it? I think it's inevitable now. I think too much has happened. Even if you just went on a run now and won, whatever, 12 out of your last 17 games, or however many games are left, and you end up finishing second or third, I just don't think there's a way that he's Liverpool manager in the summer anyway. So I think the plans have started, and you've got, particularly under these owners, there's a bit more of a, okay, well, let's plan this properly, let's do it properly. You do it with players, you do it with kind of signings and stuff. So I don't think it'll be a knee-jerk reaction, but I think the plans of who comes in the summer and how it changes have already started. And it'll be interesting in this window, actually, if any money's spent. I'd be shocked if any money's spent in this window.
I think they might with Gahey if they can get him, but there's talk of City going for him now, because I think Baddy broke his leg.
That's apparently...
If they lose out on Gahey, that's criminal, given how close they were to getting him in the summer. But what I think will be really interesting is he's almost... I think, so in another world, Slot doesn't spend 450 million, has a similar season to what we're having now, but he gets left to the end of the season because he's kind of like, I've not spent no money now in a few years, and they give him to the end of the season, and he has another go next season. Whereas because he has spent all that money, it's a bit like, lad, you've had all that money, you're gone now. So it's almost like he's almost shot himself in the foot by buying all the players then.
But you go back to it again though, was it him buying all the players? Like, obviously he was happy spending the money, and you look at the players you've signed and you would suggest that they probably are in the mould of what Slot wanted, but the signings have, on the reflection, have been pretty poor, haven't they? I mean, again, it's
been unlucky with injuries as well.
What's that?
They've had obviously Isaac and
is that unlucky,
Leo,
Isaac, though?
No.
I mean, you look at it now,
yeah,
and
sorry,
with
right.
hindsight,
I spoke
it's
to
easy, isn't it?
To Geordie on his podcast, and he's like, cannot believe you paid that much for him. He's so injury prone, you know, like crazy. I know his injury was unlucky; it was a bad tackle, but in general, he's pretty injury prone. And I also think, it doesn't really matter much, but you know, in like the whole media, the fan debate and everything, if straight away you're looking, and Liverpool have spent 130 million quid less, it's not quite as Liverpool are trying to buy the league. It looks a lot different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
On paper. So, and there's talk that he didn't want Diaz to go as well. And that was, his hand was forced on that as well. So the whole, did he want these players or not? Did players go that he wants to keep? Who knows? But I think in general, the more and more lads I speak to, the same kind of feeling is like, I think I'm a bit done with him now.
Yeah, because it's more it's more the individual. So I always, like, again, thinking from an old school perspective, I try to judge a manager on which of those players in that 11 or those 16 have improved under him. And you go through your team or squad, can you name more than one or two players that have improved under him?
I think Gravenberch last season
probably has.
But again, I don't know what the fuck he's
but again,
where he's been
style,
this season.
Again, it's Dutch, isn't it? It's like, get on the ball.
But even this season, no lad, he's fucking, don't know what he's done this season. You know what it feels like is, you know, I love an analogy. It's like you just started dating a bird, right? And it's like, you've been going out with her a few months and she's not done anything wrong. It's for you to go, nah. And she's a lovely person, but you just know her. You're just like...
Well, I think he has done plenty wrong.
Do you know what I mean? But he's won us the league as well, though. Like, that's that. Do you know what I mean? But at the moment, it's like he's not done anything super... Like, we've not got beat 7-0 like United did. Do you know what I mean? We've just been... I think drawing two games like that against
But would you rather your bird go out on a bender and get absolutely smashed and all that, and you don't speak to her for 24 hours, but then she's brilliant and spotless the rest of the time, or would you rather just be a knobhead every day?
But I don't
every day you get up.
He's not being a knobhead every day.
You get up and she just doesn't speak to you. She's like, whatever. She leaves the house. She feels head empty when she leaves. You're like, oh my God, that was just a cold interaction.
Well, what's going to make it even worse, though, is like if he wins something. So if she does come back and she's like amazing, if Klopp does come back and wins us the European Cup, is that like, would that be the best thing for the club long term? I don't know, because he gets given longer, doesn't he? I mean, I'm not going to turn down a European Cup, obviously, but it will be interesting because I think most fans are like, he's tactically not quite there and he's not playing the way we're used to and we want.
Do you honestly think he'll still win the European Cup this year?
Well, I think the way we're playing, and I spoke to one of the lads this morning.
More suited to continental.
Not even that. I think the way we're playing, or at least it seems to me, and again, a few of the lads, is like, it's like sometimes he doesn't know what to do tactically, so he's just like, there's enough talent on the pitch. Let's put our hand in a lucky bag and sometimes it works. Sometimes you do pick something up so I think.
So you mean one-off games?
It's like, yeah. So, but I mean, listen, obviously we're recording this before the Arsenal game on Thursday. It wouldn't surprise me if we nick a 1-0, right, or a 2-1. It equally wouldn't surprise me if we get beat 3 or 4-0.
It would surprise me. I'll be honest, it would surprise me.
If we got beat 3 or 4-0?
No, it would surprise me if you nicked 1-0 or 2-1.
Well, exactly,
it would massively surprise me.
It wouldn't to me, though, because look, if Ekatiike's back, he looks brilliant, by the way. Wirtz has got, man of the match the last 3 or 4 games. If them two start linking up, it's a dull game, 0-0, and they pop up with a bit of magic. I can well see that happening.
True.
But I also can see us getting absolutely dominated, conceding a few from the set pieces, getting outplayed and look, not at it at all. So, and that's what I'm saying. It's like we could end up going on a little cup run and doing a bit, but yeah, it's just frustrating. Should we mention my bet?
You can do, yeah.
So if it wasn't bad enough losing, well, we didn't even lose, we drew the game. If Liverpool would have won, I was taking home $7,000. So there was about 90 seconds. I was in the feathers, come out from the toilet. Because there was a 15-minute delay, everyone in the pub knew about my bet. Everyone else had come in. I'm waiting on Liverpool for a treble and a sixfold. I'd already won 1,500 quid, thankfully, but it would have been another $7,000 on top. And looks like the game's going out with a whimper. I go to the toilet, with that thing where you go to the toilet and hope something happens.
Yeah.
I come out the toilet, everyone's jumping around. Lad, your bet's coming in, oh my God. We'd ordered, we had food orders ready, all the ale ready. And then 90 seconds later, that lad, who will never ever do that again, he will never ever. I should DM him on Instagram, shouldn't I? Show him the bet. Scores an absolute worldly and cost me $7,000. I felt sick. Like, even the next morning, lads who were told about the bet will text me like he's still alive. You know what I mean? It was like...
It was ridiculous.
It was disgusting. So, yeah, not only a Liverpool shite, but it cost me $7,000. Should we move on to Everton? Things better your end? Not really.
Not really, no. Not really. It was another... I've said this a few times. I think when we come into a game and we're expected to provide the initiative and go on the front foot and try and win the game, we struggle. It happened against Newcastle when we had the chance to go 5th. It happened the other day when we had the chance again to go 5th. So really disappointing. Credit to Brentford and credit they've got someone in Thiago that we haven't got, and it's a striker who, give him a chance, he'll score, does all the things that our strikers are unfortunately unable to do. But it wasn't just that. I think they were a lot more cute, clever. They didn't leave the gaps we did, or when we were in possession or going forward. Bitterly disappointing considering.
Would you have wins that game though, hoping to beat Brentford?
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Brentford's away record was poor going into that game. You look at well,
they were 7th though in the league.
But they weren't before the game.
We were
above them. We were a point above them. They've only got 6 points away from home this season going into the game. They hadn't won for quite a while.
They beat Wolves. That was it. Yeah.
But then he's had a run there before that.
5 on the Spain,
game.
Yeah.
That was a cup game. That one against Grimsby as well. So you're looking at it.
He's only beat West Ham and Wolves.
Yeah, West Ham and Wolves before that. So yeah, it was disappointing, and I think it was a opportunity missed. I think we were again a little bit naive with committing players forward when we shouldn't have done. But they had the better chances and they took the chances. So yeah, disappointing.
I heard you saying typical Everton as well. The only one time that both strikers scored as well.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's
how many times have we said on this pod
about we just need that? And listen, if you said to me we're going to score 2 against Brentford, I would have been very confident that we get a result there. At least a point, if not, almost certainly get 3 points. But listen, even I think the 4-2 flatters us really to be within 2 goals of them. I think it was a pretty comprehensive victory for them. I mean, that said, we have a decent opportunity. I think within the first minute, with their keeper, Callaghan, he's a great save from McNeil. If that goes in, it's a different game, but it didn't, and yeah, it turned from there. But we've really struggled since losing Ndiaye and losing Dewsbury Hall. Obviously, Grealish played the other day, got to mention he got 2 assists, so good performance from him relatively compared to the rest of his teammates. But you know, we're massively struggling without them too. Well, without 3 really. Ghana Gayus at the AFCON, so that's our midfield, and that 5 in midfield, that was, you know, the nucleus of our team really, and what's got us to relatively comfortable position we're in. So to lose them over the last few games has completely changed the dynamic. And although we got a result last week and you know, got a few points over the last week, they've been labour performances. We've been scraping results.
So obviously we're recording this before the Wolves game. Wolves are home on Wednesday, and then Sunderland at the weekend in the FA Cup. I mean,
I can't. Well, what I can't.
I've got Everton in my last man, so
what I can't say with any confidence is we go and beat Wolves tomorrow.
You best do, because I've got.
Well, I can't say, having said what I've just said, that whenever we've had the impetus or the, you know, the emphasis is on us to go and win the game, we've struggled. It's another game that we'd be expected to go and take the game to Wolves, and they haven't been bad over the last few weeks. They have actually picked up some, you know, they battered West Ham at the weekend.
Yeah.
And if you look at the form recently compared to the rest of the season, I know there's been...
Well, they drew at United, and they actually, the last 10 minutes when they were playing us, they looked like fucking Real, or we made them look like Real Madrid, I should say.
They were good I watched them at Arsenal, away at Arsenal, only 2-1 there, so...
There's a lot of games there that they've only lost by a goal as well, to be fair.
So, listen, I don't think, it sounds strange, but I don't think the players are relishing going... I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. Some of the players are going to be going, right, let's go and correct this straight away against Wolves and get a win. Hopefully that's the case. But I think there may be some players in the dressing room thinking, fucking hell, this is another potential banana skin here. But look, again, what a difference a result could make. We win that game, I think we're back up in 7th, 6th or 7th. So it's that you know, the gap between
fifth, back up to 6th.
Yeah, the gap between 5th and I think it's 15th, is it, or something like that?
Yeah.
Not 15th, no, it's 14th. 4 points. It's so wide open.
That's madness, that, isn't it?
I mean, and you're only 3
you're
points.
Only 6 points behind us.
Yeah.
It's so mad, isn't
it? But listen, it was definitely a disappointing result. Before that game, despite the fact that I was hoping to get it, I would have took a draw against them, because I think they've been decent this year. And they've got a lot of players.
Despite the turnover in the summer as well, losing
and listen, I think on that prediction we done at the start of the season, I think I predicted them to finish 4th from bottom.
I think I did, you know.
Or to maybe finish in the bottom 3. So credit to them. We've done some great recruitments. You know, Keith Andrews done a good job, and you can see from him as well, obviously his role before that under Thomas Frank was set piece coach. They are very solid from set pieces, both defensively and attacking, and that's put them in a strong position. And that Thiago is a serious forward.
He's Brazilian, isn't he? I think.
Yeah. He's a beast. Proper.
It's whether he gets in the World Cup squad. I'd have him ahead of Richarlison, by the way.
I would, yeah. He's a proper forward. So, no, fair play to them. I think they're the better side. We were poor. Hopefully we can be better tomorrow. But I don't think it's going to be easy. As you say, we're recording on a Tuesday. I don't think it's it sounds mad because they're such a poor season in general, but yeah, I think.
Well, the big question for you then is, with Sunderland at the weekend,
in the cup,
in the FA Cup, is there or I mean, there's been a load of games over Christmas and New Year. Is there any thinking that we're playing Wolves? Wolves are fucking destined for relegation. We'll play a weakened team so that we can put a strong team out for the FA Cup. I
think momentum's Everton, to be honest. I mean, our results wouldn't suggest that, because we found it hard to I think, win more than 2 on the bounce. But I don't think there's a train of thought on you know, of that. And I think with the table being as open as it is, I think it'd be criminal to do that. Because I know in seasons gone by, and maybe it could have easily been this season, we could be sitting there looking at the European places going, they're well out of our reach. You've got no chance.
Yeah, you said this
but it's so wide open. So
yeah.
I think there's as much a chance of us getting into Europe for the league as there is us winning the FA Cup. In fact, it's probably more likely, because some clubs, certainly the top clubs, will be looking at the FA Cup thinking, this is our only chance here of winning something this year.
I'm gonna throw you a question now, which will probably make you get hated for whether you say one thing or the other.
FA Cup.
Really?
Oh, all day. Winning FA Cup.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Winning a cup and ending this drought that we've had. There's no 2 ways about it. You know, we've in Moyes' previous spell. I mean, he'll be just as desperate as anyone. He didn't obviously win a trophy in that spell, which was in Everton's recent history, relatively successful. So he'll be desperate to end that drought and to be the man who brings a trophy to.
It'd be quite fitting as well, to be fair to him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he deserves it. Of anyone in the last 25 years to lift the trophy, it should be him. So yeah, there's no two ways about it. And I would be surprised if 99.9% of Evertonians wouldn't give you the same answer.
So go on then. We'll do predictions and then we move on to a bit of boxing. So for the Wolves game,
it sounds negative, but I'm going to go 1-1. You know,
really?
Honestly, I think it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. We should beat them. There's more than enough reasons for us to say we should beat them. But yeah, I think he'll be Moyes will be a bit of a wounded manager. And when I say wounded manager, there's a defeat against Newcastle 4-1, I think it was, and there's a defeat against Brentford 4-2. We've conceded 4 twice in games that we'll be expected to go and take the game to the opposition. I think he's going to be a little bit more cagey, and I can see a draw, low-scoring draw. I've
just thought I done Man United in the last man last week who were playing Wolves, and I've picked Everton who are playing Wolves.
Can you change it?
No, I don't think so. Well, mate, it was £100 a go, and I went out. 30 of us went out in the second week. It got one in 2 weeks.
Well, the one I was in, they rolled it over. Basically said, "Listen, there's that many people that went out in that round. You know that round where 4 or 5 of the top teams."
No, there was one lad who didn't pick Man United.
Wow.
And won it. And what do you reckon for Sunderland then?
I think if anything, Sunderland are probably going to make more changes. We can't make that many changes. We haven't got that many players in our squad to rotate. I think it's just a notable mention to Harrison Armstrong, who come back off loan from Preston, came on the other night. He looked very good. Interesting whether he just stay with us. I think Moyes has admitted that if we can get some players in January, and obviously the likes of Gay and Dye return, then he might go back out on loan. But he looked very good, and I'd like to see him get some minutes against Wolves and Sunderland. But I think we beat Sunderland. I think they'll probably make more changes than we do, and yeah, I think we'll win 2-0.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I might do like 2 takes of this, so Muskie can like cut either one. I might say we're gonna win 1-0, or we're gonna get beat 4-0, and he can make it at what he will. I'd take a draw, which sounds terrible. Champions of England.
Great. Was it?
Yeah, but I suppose you could argue a draw would be great if you can draw away to your rivals and beat them at home. That'd be all right in most, but
are you still your rivals?
It just seems so defeatist. I hate sounding defeatist, but it's like you just hope that we don't get battered.
Well, they're not. Let's be honest. At this moment in time, you're not in that league, are you? There's probably 4 leagues in the Premier League. There's the relegation zone. There's that wide open league that we've just talked about before between 5th and 14th. And there's that little mini league probably between you, Chelsea and Villa, maybe.
Like 14 points behind them we are.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke, that, isn't it? Do you know what the worst bit about it? Up until these last 2 games, we were obviously 10. But you're thinking, we play them next week. It could go down.
Not as bad as I thought it was.
We could make it even closer. I thought to myself, look at that. In the last 15 games, we're 12th in the form table. That's a fucking joke, that, isn't it? But yeah, a couple of games, the way the league was, like you mentioned, I was thinking, do you know what, if we beat Arsenal, obviously thinking we would have beat Wolves and Leeds, you're thinking, fucking hell, who was it? Leeds and Fulham, sorry. I was thinking, fucking hell, you know what, we're not actually out this. And then a couple of draws, you're 14 points off. We're going to get, if we get beat by them, it's...
Who've Chelsea got? Tomorrow? Because I think Chelsea and United are very likely to pick points up.
Fulham.
They've got Fulham, and I think the players, I mean, against City, obviously they played really well in that second half, and I think there'll be a bit of a buzz about the place with Maresca leaving, and same with United. I massively fancy United to beat Burnley comfortably.
Barnsley at the weekend in the FA Cup, they haven't won in the last 4.
Is it at Anfield?
Losing 3 of them.
It can't be, can it?
It's away, I think, yeah.
Oh no, it is at Anfield. But is it on the Sunday though? Because we're playing Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Listen, you'd expect us to win there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, comfortably.
I mean,
imagine the fume if you
League One.
You're gonna have to. I mean, the likes of Rio's probably gonna play, isn't he? And
yeah, you're gonna have to see wholesale changes, aren't you? So they're 17th in League One.
Gomez will play.
If Endo's back fit, yeah. 3 or 4 now. I'll go for it at the weekend. Mate, we'll finish off on a bit of news that we all knew, and a bit of news which is, really upsetting. The first news was Tyson Fury is back. If you didn't think that was going to happen, he's come out and said that
It's
he's
not the first time, it's not even the third time now, is it fourth
fourth,
time?
I think this is, yeah. So he's back fighting. No doubt hoping for an Anthony Joshua rematch at some, not rematch, first fight this year. He just does me head in, lad. I mean, I unfollowed him the other week, lad, or the other month, maybe a year ago. Like, just doesn't shock you when it comes up. Sky Sports, Tyson Fury back. You're like,
yeah.
But I don't know, like, who does he do? Like, is it in his own head? He's thinking, oh, everyone's like,
it's not exactly Stranger Things, is it?
It's like, anyway. So he's back, and then the other sad news, which the guy who's meant to be fighting was involved in a horrendous crash in Nigeria, and 2 of his best mates have died.
I mean, what I will say, and I said this to my mates, I've spent quite a bit of time in Nigeria, and those roads in Lagos are ridiculous, mate. It's and everyone obviously thinks in Nigeria, you know, with the best will in the world, like loads of con men trying to rip people off and all that. And Lagos is a very developed city. Like, it's the most developed in Nigeria, and it's an economic like hub almost. But the roads and the infrastructure there is third world, to be nice,
to be polite, yeah.
And you know that truck that was involved in the accident there's probably more of them on the road than there is normal cars.
Yeah.
So it's you know
how he's come away relatively unscathed.
Well,
is
I don't know if I've read this wrong, but I'm pretty sure I haven't. Apparently, Joshua was in the front of the car. They stopped off, and he got in the back of the car when he got back in. So had he not just changed seats randomly, he would have been dead.
That's mad, isn't it? Scary.
Because did you see the front of the car?
Yeah. Oh, it's mad.
It was just because of the truck just went through the front of the car, didn't it?
You know what I found mad about it? The driver has been arrested for dangerous driving and also driving without a licence.
Well, mate, that's not even the tip of... That's the tip of the iceberg in Nigeria.
But I just think, I know Nigeria itself is going to, I mean, you know more about it than me, but you're a former heavyweight champion of the world. You've just had a 60 million quid payday off Netflix.
Why are you driving around in Lagos?
With a lad who hasn't got his driver's licence.
Oh, his driver, his mate?
The lad who was driving, no, I think it was a Nigerian fella who was driving them, never had a driver's licence.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm being...
yeah, I mean, so, like...
The name of it, the lad who got charged, he might be English, but he had an African name.
He wouldn't know, would he? He wouldn't know, would he, probably? How would you... I mean, like, let's be honest. Obviously, you're quite well-travelled. You get in a taxi in Marrakesh. Do you know that fella's got a driving licence? No matter how much money you've got. Do you go, I mean, can I see your driving licence?
Me, fucking...
Can I see your drive? Yeah, but no matter... Let's say he turns up in a roller, whatever. Do you go to him, let's see your driving licence? you don't do it. It doesn't matter how much money you got.
It's a good point.
It's just such a basic question.
It's a good point, however...
But if you're in Lagos, mate, I'm telling you now, you're in Lagos, that's just... Not that it sounds irresponsible to say it. That's like the least of your worries.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying.
I've been looking to check if they've got tyres on the wheels. That's how bad it is.
Really?
Oh, mate, it's horrendous. The roads are so bad. That road there, the stretch road you can see, is probably as good as it gets. But like about a mile down the road from where that accident took place, you've literally got like... Yeah. You're driving over and you go off if there's a traffic jam in Lagos, you can drive off the road and just come back on it. People make a road at the side just to get round it. There's like manual tolls. So fellas just run out on the road with a big stick. Wow. And you have to pay them. And the police pay them. Because the police have got no authority there.
But surely if you're Anthony Joshua, lad, you're paying for like security, you're paying for drivers, you're paying for like a proper service. That's all I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like a degree of him going back to his roots and trying to be, a man give of the people back, and all. Do you know what I mean? And go, you know what, we're going to pay him.
Well, apparently there's mates who unfortunately passed away. They were like building like schools there. They were like doing a lot for the community out there. So it just shows you about really life as well, doesn't it? You think 2 weeks beforehand he's in America with his two good mates. I think one was his PT, they've just got a 60 million quid pay pack. You'd think, wow, this is as good as it gets. And then, crazy. So sad, mate, yeah.
Really sad.
The one thing on a lighter note, just to, let me see, as if you'd expect anything else, my old mate Emma got beat for the first time in her career by a lady called Sakiri. She's a Greek girl.
Do you mean she got beat the first time in her career?
By this girl in particular.
Right, okay.
So she actually beat this girl on her way to win the...
This was basically a bit like the Davis Cup, isn't it?
Yeah.
The United Cup, where the different countries play.
But she
But I
played.
think
She played this girl on her route to the final. You know, when she won. She beat her like 1, 2, 3, 4. She beat her 4 times before.
Great Britain beat them, didn't they? In the end, that was the third game of a three-game tie.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a dead rubber.
But my point I was going to say, and I didn't just bring it up just to take the piss, but she beat this girl. She beat this girl 4 times, and one of those times was on her route to winning the US Open. So she's getting beat by her now. She's ranked 51st in the world. This girl now it's like whatever she's doing, she's almost going backwards, isn't she?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's but fast though.
I mean, her rankings though don't suggest that she is. She's
coming
to 29.
She's coming down a lot. Yeah, she's came down a lot.
Is that not just because she's playing a lot of competitions though? It's a bit like darts again, isn't it? The more matches you play.
I don't think she's won 2 on. She hasn't.
She looks to me like she's winning 66% of her matches. You know, 1 in 3 she's getting beat, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, she's lost 4 on the spin, and she wins 1, gets beat, wins 1, gets beat, wins 2, gets beat, wins 1, gets beat, wins 2, gets beat, wins 1, wins with. It just doesn't strike me as someone who's going to go and win the Australian Open next month.
She's not, is she? She's not at that level anymore.
But she needs to come on the pod, come on and explain how much money she's made from modelling and what's going on with her tennis career. She needs to explain anything to me, like, but it would be nice too. That's good to be back.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you for the time again, kid. Thank you again for listening. Don't forget, big thanks to our sponsors, Hill Dickinson. Go and watch their episode. Massive thank you to Comeletics. You can see we're sporting the gear if you're watching on YouTube. Type in the leg at 30 for 30% off. Don't forget to like, comment, share to all your mates. We really do appreciate it, and we will see you next week.